There should be 4 or 5 penalties a game, and that would sort it out quickly.
Well, you've got Cole Palmer, so you're all right, aren't you? Yeah. So
it just means you had crap referees.
No, we had referees who went on to referee in the Football League.
Well, that's what I said.
But we all know what happens in the penalty area is not the same as what happens out on the rest of the pitch.
God,
and that goes
football,
for all other situations
what happens
as well.
in the penalty area stays in the penalty area. A load of crap.
Letter from the Gantry.
Thanks as always, Neil. Here we go. Goals from corners have always been an identification test for commentators, particularly in-swinging corners. Replays will invariably solve any puzzle, but the wish on the gantry is to be instinctively right. A pack of players go searching for a telling touch, and when the ball flashes into the net, those in my profession search for the right name. A scorer's celebration is a major clue, but even then it might be one who is trying to defend the set piece who actually diverts the ball past his own goalkeeper. Take the riotous celebrations by Fulham recently against Brighton at Craven Cottage. A red herring, if ever there was one. Calvin Bassey, conspicuous in the collective delight, but not his goal. It actually belonged to a former Fulham player, the unfortunate Brighton midfield man, Matt O'Reilly. So that particular joy was misleading. But it was explainable simply because the ball had actually ended up in the opposition net from a Fulham corner, something their previous 120 plus such attempts had failed to achieve. Now, I read somewhere recently in this data-driven world that goals from set pieces are down this season. Well, that's certainly not the case from where I've been watching. Arsenal defeated Manchester United by driving down this particular route. One United fan said to me that conceding a corner that night felt like giving away a penalty. 2-0, but it could have been 5, all via the same modus operandi. And 4 days later, another training ground routine earned the Gunners a point at Fulham. William Saliba netted in both those games. As for United, they conceded similarly in the next match at the start of their home defeat by Nottingham Forest, the 7th time in all this season. There is rightly much talk about the movement of the attacking players emphasised by Arsenal, whose set-piece coach Nico Jova deserves a goal bonus. But the key is the delivery. In Declan Rice and Bukayo Saka, the Gunners have 2 of the very best suppliers. Near post or far post, their placement is usually perfection. Now, undoubtedly, there has been a surge in the set-piece goals. I mentioned in the last letter commentating on Thomas Souček opening West Ham's corner account at Newcastle. It was actually their 12th game of the season, so it was a bit overdue. But then a converted corner brought a consolation goal for the Hammers at Leicester from Nicholas Füllkrug and paved the way for victory in their crucial home clash with Wolves. Souček again. That's the 14th time, incidentally, that Wolves have been done by a set piece this season. Now, I think there are several reasons why these restart numbers are remarkable. First and foremost, there is the attention to detail that goes on in training. Not much extra physical output concerned, really. You can walk through the moves. It's repetitive. Some players find it boring, but they know it is rewarding. There's also a lot of tolerance from Premier League referees on blocking, grabbing, and grappling. It's hard to see who is the initiator, defender or attacker. So most times it's called equal. It is very different in Europe in that respect. A couple of other theories, maybe a bit left field. For a generation now, defenders have been picked for their skills with the ball. The old head it, kick it centre-backs who would deal much better with this kind of problem are few and far between. Goalkeepers, similarly, have risen to the top because they can play out from the back. Barging through a crowd to catch or punch a corner looks something of a dying art. And one other thought, a very personal thought. At this time of year, most football is played under floodlights, even the 3 p.m. kickoffs. Have a look at how the lights impact the goal mouse at your club. When the ball is hung up, are they in the sight lines in these vital situations? Squinting is not a good look when you're readying for heading. And by the way, there are banks of lights all around the Emirates.
Ooh. Do you think that these days they're probably data-driven, specifically directed, and moved at half time? So.
Well, now I was thinking of asking my statistician friends to look up the ratio of goals scored from set pieces in natural daylight and the goals scored, obviously, in the evening games right from the start of the season, or there's some daylight in August, I guess. But now we're pretty much playing all the games. We're in the winter ball, aren't we, as well?
Yeah.
Maybe that's a factor, I don't know. But it just seems to me that there are more reasons than they're being very well drilled that this is happening so regularly. I mean, every game I've been at in commentary in the last month, there's been a goal scored from a set piece. So
on the grappling and the blocking,
yes.
Don't you just think that it's fouls, and that once again British or English governance of football is just getting it wrong? It's just a load of
I think
nonsense.
just the opposite, Neil, because I played non-league football at a reasonable level, and I was grabbed, and I was a forward, I was grabbed and pushed and battered by defenders, and they got away with it all.
Well, that doesn't mean it's correct. It just means means you had crap referees.
No, we had referees who went on to referee in the Football League.
Well, that's what I said.
Ray Lewis, who had a wonderful refereeing career and was also the official, unfortunately, at the Hillsborough disaster, actually about 3 months ago phoned me up and said, I've got a programme where I'm refereeing and you played. And he brought it. We met up at Leatherhead Football Club, and he brought it to show me. So, they were.
I think the grappling and the blocking are fouls, and
yeah, but they start with defenders.
So
let's have a whole raft of penalties.
No,
then.
I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that.
So instead of Arsenal getting corners, which are a penalty according to the Manchester United fans, because they're so worried about them going in.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Let's have a proper penalty then.
I mean, I think that any defender at a set play who watches the player and not the ball is in danger of committing what is, by the rules, a foul, and by my moral justice set of personal requirements, a foul.
But we all know what happens in the penalty area is not the same as what happens out on the rest of the pitch.
God.
And that goes
Football.
for all other situations
What happens
as well.
in the penalty area stays in the penalty area. A load of crap. So there should be 4 or 5 penalties a game, and that would sort it out quickly.
Well, you've got Cole Palmer, so you're all right, aren't you?
Yeah.
So.
Get in there. Right, letter from the Gantry. Also, of course, you can read it on substack.com when I finally get around to putting it up. I put one up today, and I'm going to try and put one up, quite a few up this week. So, read.
We need to catch up, don't we?
Yeah.